Jim, it's been a long day. Listen, the last day we spoke in the Mount Donegal, we talked about the season gone by and the matchups and the team selections and all that sort of stuff. A couple of interesting selections against the Dubs as well. You talked about the game plan and going into it. Could you have hoped that it would have gone as well as it did on the day?
Very much so, Charlie. I think our first 20 minutes, there's a lot of things there that we need to address for the final. Had the goal gone in and it was at 1-9 to 4 points, it would have been a long way back for us. That said, I still felt good about the game at 9-4, and even if it did go in, I still had a good level of belief in them, because they'd shown enough in the first 20 minutes by bringing the game to Dublin that they were there, that they meant business, and they were there to try and push on as best they could. And I suppose that was the lesson really from 2011. We went into that game and we didn't get enough scores on the board, and we knew we had to really up the ante on that in order to get over the line against Dublin, and thankfully that's the way it panned out.
Yeah. You're meeting the Kingdom. I mean, it's perfect really for us, isn't it? Donegal against Kerry, and 2 All-Ireland finals. Let's not forget Declan and the minors as well, Jim. And they showed against Mayo perhaps things that we didn't feel they had. They showed great fight, great determination, and they put up 2 big scores in those 2 matches.
Yeah, and I mean, I suppose bang on their average really. They're always in and around 116, 117, 118 in championship games, and that's the quality that Kerry will bring to championship matches. But you're right, there was a lot of steel in their performances, and a lot of determination, and they've got a lot of options. They've got a lot of options. They've young O'Brien that has maybe come back into the team. Darren O'Sullivan come back into the team. Kieran Dunny now is in the team, and there's a lot of options there.
Yeah.
And it presents us with a lot of challenges. So
couple of challenges in particular with Dunny coming back in, because some might suggest if they hadn't been going badly against Mayo in the latter stages, he wouldn't have been brought on at all, but he made the difference and obviously showed his worth then in the replay. And him and James O'Donoghue seem to be the 2 guys now. Obviously there's other forwards, you've mentioned 1 or 2 of them already, but they seem to be the main focus in terms of Kerry scores.
I'm not sure about that, Charlie. I think that Kieran is a very good outlet, and I think he's lucky in the sense that he's got so many really top quality kickers of the ball out the field that most of them can deliver really top notch diagonal ball, which kind of puts it on a plate for him, and he can drop off there at the back stick and just wait for the ball to come in, land on his chest. So but there's a lot more to this Kerry team than that. They've got some really good players in the half forward line that are adding a lot of value, and adding a lot of pace and energy to the half forward line as well. Johnny Buckley at centre forward as a midfielder really. So they're playing with 3 midfielders, and David Moore and Anthony Maher, huge men in the middle of the park. So but they're also creating a lot of attacks from their half back line. So you've got a mix there of diagonal ball and running the ball, and half backs coming forward. Mark O'Shea, Killian Young coming from the full back line. So there's a lot more to Kerry than just Kieran Dunny at the edge of the square, but he is an important dynamic for them. There's no question about that.
So plenty to think about, and it's a different challenge to the Dublin one, but as you said, based on what happened in the first 20 minutes, because it looked as if the script that had been written so extensively was going to play out that particular day as well last week, Jim. It didn't happen, but the boys obviously have a great attitude. You've mentioned about, it's a privilege to work with them and what they bring to it. In the next 2 weeks you're going to have to bring more to it, perhaps, in terms of this is their 2nd All-Ireland final in 3 years. It would be easy enough for them to start thinking we have a bit of an edge here.
No, I don't think so, Charlie. I mean, we're going for our 3rd All-Ireland. Kerry's going for their 38th. Let's be honest about it.
But ours is more recent.
But I mean, Kerry probably played in the last 15 finals. They probably played in 10 or 11.
Yeah.
And a lot of these players have played in a lot of them games, and Colin Cooper still could potentially make an impact. Darren O'Sullivan. So they have a lot of quality in their bench as well, and for us it's a huge occasion. It's a huge opportunity, and we just want to try and make the most of it now that we're in the final. We know what they're going to bring. At the minute we're in the middle, I suppose, of the process of evaluating them and analysing them, but we know what they're going to bring in a general sense. They're going to bring a serious amount of belief that they can win the All-Ireland, because they've proved time and time again that they can win the All-Ireland. And so our players will have to face that sort of mentality in the Kerry players. But our fellas know that they can win the All-Ireland as well, because they have done it. So you know, hopefully that dynamic wasn't there in 2012 going into the game, and it is going into this game. So hopefully that'll be a positive for us. But really, it's about who wants it bad enough, Charlie, and it's about on the day. And it's about who gets it right, and hopefully we can get as many things right as possible in the lead into the game. That gives us the best opportunity to be competitive, and if we're competitive, we have a chance of winning.
Some interesting team selections. We see Christy Toy coming off the bench and doing so well, Paddy McBurley, but you've been doing that all year, and we talked about that previously. It just shows the options that are there for you. But they were vital, along with Paul Durkin's save early on, as we mentioned, to what happened at the weekend. So who starts, who comes in, and who finishes? Big questions there, Jim.
Yeah, a lot of questions, and I suppose Eamon Fitzmaurice he's done the same all summer. You know, he's picked different selections and different setups for different teams that they've played. Yeah. And he's shown himself to be a very good manager and very flexible in his approach. And we're like that ourselves, and we'll mix things, we'll change things, and we'll look at everything, and we'll not be afraid to make decisions that'll try and win us a game of football. And Kerry have done the same. Which makes it sort of interesting in terms of on the day, you know, all the preparation in the world, you know, and I'm sure that there'll be a lot of things unfolding. Maybe, you know, that both sets of management will not be waiting on. So that's just the nature of it. You need good players to be able to do that. You need players that can take information and use it to do that, and we're very lucky in Donegal at the minute we have a group of players like that, and Kerry have always had that in their locker in terms of the game intelligence at that level. So it's great to look forward to. I have a lot of friends in Kerry. I played down there myself for 2 years, and still very close contact with them, you know, and it'll be very enjoyable, that sort of aspect of it for me as well, and a great time for the Kerry people, you know, and just really looking forward to the game. It's a dream final in many respects for us, Charlie, you know. And
finally, Jim, when we talked, I think it was back in February, we talked about the events of last year. The clubs give you great cooperation, and you very loudly and often thank them for that, you know. Do you feel vindicated now that what you took into those meetings with you late last year and said, listen guys, if we're going to be serious about what we're doing here, we have to get the right preparation, and with the right preparation we can produce a team that can take on anybody in the country? Well, I just, you know, like to thank the clubs for the decision that they made, Charlie, you know, because they've given us the opportunity to prepare, and that has given us the opportunity to play in this final, and that is hugely significant. And maybe just to go on record and say that, and you know, we're very privileged to have such a focused group of players over the last number of years, and working so hard, and every single training session, every night, every week, every month, every year. You know, it's a big commitment, Charlie. Sure. And they've given so much to the jersey, and we're in a final now again on the back of all that hard work, and hopefully now we just can take this opportunity. We're looking forward to it. Thanks, Charlie. Thanks for talking to us. Thank you. Pleasure.